bring order back to men's lives.
What is up, YouTube world? I want to talk to you about the video review. It's called Death of a Lady. Where are all the good or real men? So the phrase, the death of the lady, where are all the real/good men, appear to stem from a psychological and social cultural discussion presented in a YouTube talk by Dr. Orion Taiban. The video explores the historic and modern dynamics of gender roles, particularly focusing on the decline of traditional chivalry and the changing expectations in relationships. It devolves into how the concepts of ladies and gentlemen are social contracts shaped by historic, necessary economic dependence and social or sexual market dynamics. Orion argues that the decline of the lady archetype is tied to broader shifts, including women's financial independence, access to birth control, which have altered the traditional incentives for long-term commitment. The talk also examines the tension between different female archetypes, ladies versus more sexual available women, and how each group historically depended on the other to maintain value in relationships. So, where are all the real/good men? The phrase "death of the lady, where are all the real men" isn't a direct quote from the KJV, but likely refers to stories where women face hardship and betrayal, often linked to faithlessness. Huh, that's interesting. You're telling me women's inability to be faithful may have something to do with the decline of modern society, right? It's interesting. So it goes on, often linked to faithlessness, like the Sodom and Gomorrah narrative in Genesis 19, or the woman in Matthew 22 raised by 7 brothers, highlighting social decay and lack of righteous men, with verses like Proverbs chapter 20, verse 6. Many a man will proclaim his own mercy, but who can find a faithful man? Pointing to the scarcity of true integrity, while the concept of real men often point to Proverbs, Ephesians chapter 5, husbands loving your wives as Christ loved the church, showing godly duty. So here is a breakdown of relevant verses and concepts. The stories of faithless men and women's struggles. So Genesis chapter 19, Sodom and Gomorrah, Lot's daughters are offered to a mob, then Lot offers them instead, highlighting extreme moral decay and men's failures. Genesis 19, chapter 19, verses 1 through 11, as seen in the Bible Gateway. Okay. Matthew chapter 22, verses 27 through 30, the resurrection question. A woman married 7 brothers. Question whose wife she be in the resurrection, showing marital instability, lack of commitment. Matthew 22, verses 27 through 30. Okay, here's Proverbs on lack of faithful men. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 6. Most men will proclaim their own steadfast love, but who can find a faithful man? In the KJV, it is said more along the lines of, many a man will proclaim his own mercy, but who can find a faithful man? Godly manhood and responsibility, KJV. Ephesians chapter 5, verse 25. Husbands, love your wives as Christ also loved the church and gave itself for it. 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 7. Husbands, likewise, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife, as unto the weaker vessel, and being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. The Bible shows constant theme that God will call men to faithfulness. Many fail, leading to social brokenness, distress for women. Genesis 19, Matthew 22, Proverbs 20, Ephesians 5, 1 Peter 3 are all examples. And if you like this video, like and subscribe. Stay tuned for more. And thanks again.